the Silent Strider broadcast, and we're just talking all kinds of games. So we were actually in a discussion about CD Projekt Red and Ubisoft, and yeah, like I was saying, you know, like I don't understand why, you know, everybody's holding CD Projekt Red to this standard and not Ubisoft. Like, why isn't Ubisoft really being held accountable for the stuff that they've done, for the stuff that they're not doing?
Well,
You know?
I do believe, I have to say, I do believe a part of that is very much down to the fact that Ubisoft never lied about what Assassin's Creed Valhalla was. They didn't lie when it came to the footage that they showed online, and among other things, I don't think they lied to their investors. But the game is still broken, just as Cyberpunk is. It still hasn't been repaired properly, just like Cyberpunk is. So it does bring us to that question, you know, if CD Projekt Red is this bad, then should we not be holding Ubisoft accountable and other gaming companies, especially, you know, Treyarch in a way for Black Ops Cold War?
Right.
And how much of a complete downgrade from Modern Warfare that is.
That's what I'm saying. What's up, AFK?
Why are we not holding these companies accountable?
Well, you know, like, we really do have to hold these companies accountable. You know, like, you know what got me really mad? First of all, we've got Ubisoft. They've released this buggy game. Then, not only do we have a buggy game, but they're not doing anything for it. It's not, you know, like, they're not repairing it. They're repairing stuff that, you know, like, affects the gameplay. Like, you know, like, if it's something to do with, you know, like any game-breaking bugs that, like, benefit the player, but they're not taking care of the problems in the game themselves. I still, to this day, I have tons of people. What's happening, Manesh? I have tons of people that hit me up that are constantly saying, hey, I've got this problem, I've got that problem, I don't understand what's going on, you know, like, I can't get through this level. You yourself, you said that you haven't played the game, you haven't touched it.
I haven't touched it. I put 110 hours in total. Played to a certain district. I was meant to go find the blacksmith. Apparently he was trying to find himself a wife.
Right.
I've said this a couple of times now on a couple of the podcasts. He's not there. The marker's on the map, but he's not there. I have to admit, though, I haven't tried in at least the last month to even see if that's been fixed. So as far as I'm aware, it could have been. But I'm at the point now where I load the game up, I sit in the main menu, I look at the northern lights in the loading screen, the game loads up, I run about for a second, see what's happening, and then I just shut down.
Well, you know what's happening is that a lot of people are having the same problem. A lot of people have not, you know, picked the game back up because they're upset. You can't play it. It's unplayable.
Yeah. And it's boring, to be quite honest.
Yeah, no, it really is. It is definitely not my favorite Assassin's Creed.
The characters are just... It reminds me of that argument we had years and years and years ago when it came to Connor. About how he was with a character. You know, he was just so, where's Charles Lee? And that was it.
Right.
And
no, you cut out there, Silent. Now you're definitely silent.
Pigeon, stop! Pigeon fact 3. Here we go. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, you know, for everybody who's listening in, who's watching, you know, we're having a serious problem with number one, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number two, like, why aren't we holding Ubisoft to the same standard that we're holding, you know, CD Projekt Red to? Like, why is it? No problem. I'm just saying, like, why aren't we holding them to that standard? Like, why? CD Projekt Red, their stocks have failed, and you know, they're dropping and everything like that. But for some reason, we're okay with Ubisoft doing this. We're okay with Ubisoft, and we just let it go. We just like, it's Ubisoft. We shouldn't be like that at all.
But then at the same time, we've come accustomed to expecting Ubisoft games to be that way when they launch.
Yeah, we shouldn't. We should hold them to a higher standard.
Exactly. Just exactly the same way people held CD Projekt Red to that standard. They thought that game was going to launch as a masterpiece.
Yep.
And it launched exactly the same way any other game launches. The only difference is instead of ditching the PS4 and Xbox One versions because they clearly couldn't get them working. Because their vision changed so drastically over 7 years. A full generation, think about that. A full generation. And they launched no games except for Witcher, the PS4 version of The Witcher, essentially. And that's it.
It's a freaking travesty. It really is. It makes no sense.
It actually doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and we're looking like we were talking about before. We're looking at, you know, PlayStation's first-party games, and they're launching perfect. I'm right now playing Miles Morales. This thing is freaking fantastic. No problems, no issues.
And launching with massive updates that are not just fixing little things in the game, but adding massive improvements like ray tracing mode at 4K.
Yeah, see now
in different types of performance modes that they've also launched after the game's come out, you know, so it's not just a case of they're fixing the game, they're actually adding to the game. So how is it Sony first party gets it so right, third party developers get it so wrong, and Xbox is so far away from the mark that why are they even launching a console? Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense to me. Now AFK, he says that he read that Cyberpunk is actually a 4-year game. Right now it's not even going to make it to the 1-year mark. People are like giving up on it.
Maybe when the PS5 and the Series X patches come out, maybe the game will be to a standard at that point. But then how does that run on the Series S? And, you know, what do they do to fix it on the base consoles where the majority of the player base is at the moment? I mean, you've got 4 to 5 million PS5 sold at the moment, which means there's still around about 110 million people playing on their PS4s right now. That is where the money is. So how does CD Projekt Red fix that? Get that game to a standard, but then also launch next year with a next-gen patch, when the game is clearly already next-gen?
I mean, it's supposed to be. Honestly, if you have, and this is like what I have, like my gaming rig is beefy. My PC is, I've got like a lot that I put into that PC because I wanted to. And it runs perfectly on my PC. There's no issues on my PC, but you know, yeah, I also play the consoles because obviously it's my job. And you know, like I'm here and I'm playing on the consoles, and I mean it's like hot garbage on the consoles, and I don't understand why. And then the other thing is, you know, besides it being so terrible on consoles, again, we're holding CD Projekt Red to a different standard than we're holding Ubisoft. Right now, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is unplayable to a lot of people.
And what I also want you to think about is if you look at a company like BioWare, and they have a new Mass Effect game coming out, but I want you to look at their Mass Effect Trilogy Remastered that's coming out. If that launch is broken, do you think BioWare will be held to a high standard? Or do you think at that point people will be like, yeah, I'm out?
See, I don't know. What was the latest game that BioWare has like produced?
It was Anthem, and that did not go well.
Oh yeah.
The last game that BioWare put out was Anthem. I did the demo when it came out. That was about maybe a month before launch, and the only cool thing about that game was you felt like Iron Man. But I never bought the full release. But that game, I believe, was meant to be the Destiny killer, and
that's how they announced it.
And the game that was meant to be the Destiny killer died within a month, and Destiny is still flying high. It's even Ubisoft couldn't do it with their game.
Woo Peter says Mass Effect Valhalla. I hope not.
Please God, no.
I really do want Mass Effect to do good. I love the Mass Effect series. It was a fantastic series.
And the fact that this looks like, the next one looks like it's going to be a direct sequel to Mass Effect 3.
Right.
I am hoping, because Andromeda was just, like, it had a bad launch.
Andromeda was hot garbage. Call it for what it is.
I'm trying to be nice, man. Like, I enjoyed Andromeda for what it was, but when it launched, it was a garbage pile of shit.
It really was.
Worlds wouldn't load, textures wouldn't load, characters were making weirdest of faces. It was, yeah, you know, and, you know, my face is tired of this one, or whatever line it was that lassie used.
Right.
But yeah.
What's our expectations regarding the expansions for Valhalla?
At the moment, I have absolutely none, because they won't fix their game.
Yeah. I'm really...
all the bugs are going to go to the DLC, so...
Yeah, I'm really not... I don't see Ubisoft actually doing, I mean, anything. Like, I want them to fix this game. I want this game to work. I'm happy that the Yule the Yule Festival is over, because during the whole Yule Festival, you logged in, you were drunk, you're like walking around like, you know, for like 5 minutes, like all messed up and everything. And,
see, well, I never got that. I loaded up, and I fast traveled essentially to your little homestead, and everything started loading in, and I got a little text box down the left hand side, and then I got an immediate crash to dashboard, and I never loaded it back up.
Yeah,
so I didn't even bother with the festival, to be honest.
I didn't like it either. Amir, yesterday was my birthday. I turned 44 years old. I am an old school gamer from the 1980s. I've played games that some of you will never play. I've seen technology come a long way, and honestly, it's been an exciting ride, honestly. Although I'm still 25 years old at heart. I actually celebrated the 19th anniversary of my 25th birthday yesterday. That's what I did. So
that's one way to put it.
Yeah.
At the same time, man. Bloody hell. Oh yeah, man. I remember the Commodore 64 era.
Yeah.
Very much
old school game. You know how
time.
many games I actually programmed? Like, not even joking. Like, back in those days when the Commodore 64 had just come out and stuff like that, I created a game, right? My own game, because BASIC was so easy to program in. And I was able to put an ad in like magazines for like basically nothing, and people would send me checks and I would send them a game. And it was like absolutely crazy. Like I'd send you like a Ziploc bag with a game in it. And that was my thing. It was hilarious, you know, like that was like the norm back then. I was working out of my garage.
Did you ever get the book with the Commodore 64? See, I got my first book with it, and you would sit and you would type out a bunch of code. It would take you about 20-30 minutes to do, then you'd punch enter, and then you'd have like a ball bouncing about your screen, or a couple of lines moving about. I used to do that for hours. I used to love doing that. And like, my dad would walk in and go, "Why are you not watching X-Men and stuff?" I'm like, "Here, man, I'm cool. What are you on about?"
Yeah, that was like the fun part. It was, you know, like programming your own stuff. Like it was great. And you know, like I kept up with technology. Like I could program like today's games. Obviously, if I'm gonna do it solo, it's gonna take like, you know, like 10 years just to, you know, make something that they've got now.
Well, here you'd be surprised, man. Some of these some of the games these indie developers tap out in 2 or 3 years now, and it's a 2-man team.
Yeah.
You know, it shows you what you can do if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, definitely. It's absolutely crazy. But like, you know, gaming has come a long way. It's really amazing. And you know, like as far as like everything else goes, like I'm just blown away that, you know, like the problems that we have with certain companies and excuse me, things that are going on, you know, like 2020 has been like a rough year for everybody, obviously, but it's definitely been the first part of it has been an amazing year for gaming, and then the end of it,
Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy,
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. We can't forget that. Yeah, basically like everything, even Doom Eternal. You know, like
You
so
know,
many great
in some
games.
way, and in some way, I mean, we missed it out, but you do still have to give Naughty Dog a clap for the graphical accomplishment of what is The Last of Us Part 2. Whether you like the story, dislike the story, you do still have to give them a nod for probably one of the
You
best looking
definitely
games
do.
of the year.
It
You
really
know,
it wasn't my game of the year, but you know
it
what?
wasn't
I
mine
knew it
either.
was going to be a contender. I knew it because the
Resident Evil
graphics, the
3
gameplay,
remake.
it was great.
Resident Evil 3 remake, man, was a completely wasted game full of potential. Not only did they cut out about the first quarter of the game and condense it down to the first 5 minutes of the game, they could have done so much more with it. And if they had gone all out the way they did with Resident Evil 2 remake, which is the best remake as far as I'm concerned that has ever been made, with the exception of Final Fantasy, and I'll get into that. But Resident Evil 2 Remake was an absolute fanboy's wet dream of what a remake should be. It was done perfectly.
Oh, we got a question from Amir. He wants to know, are you happy that Apex Legends has released a Scottish lady in the game?
What's Apex Legends? I've heard the name, but I've never played it. Is it another one of these battle royale things?
It's supposed to be. It was supposed to be another Destiny killer. It was supposed to compete with what is it with the other one that you had just named.
Oh yeah, man. Like, look, I play Call of Duty Warzone about an hour a month. I've got no interest in Fortnite. I've got no interest in Apex Legends. I mean, like, even Halo apparently has a supposed battle royale coming with it for Halo Infinite. No, just no. That, like, I'm very much a single player person. I like a single player game. I play a bit of Call of Duty when my mates are on. You know, just one of those. How you guys doing? Let's do something stupid. Let's eat a one chip challenge while we're playing a bit of Call of Duty. You know what I mean? And that's about it. But battle royales, man. I just
not your thing.
Just why would you want to sit in a corner and hide for half an hour to win a game?
I don't know. Like, some people they do that. They're into that. It's whatever. Oh, Lady Strider just came home. It's it's one of those like crazy things. Like, I personally don't understand it. I don't. It's absolutely crazy.
Ooh. Someone's trying to get your attention, boy.
Yeah, apparently.
2:45 in the morning.
Hold on one second. Just go ahead and continue talking. One moment.
No problem. So, what I'll ask you guys then, and girls, what is your personal game of the year? Whether it's Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us, anything that Xbox even put out there. What is your personal game of the years? Hades. Not played it, but I have seen a lot about it. I watched Skillup's review on it. He said it was phenomenal. And I might pick up. I believe it's on the Switch. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Brody, you're having a laugh, mate.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Valhalla did absolutely, completely crazy.
Yeah, it did really well. Whether we liked it or not, Valhalla did extremely well in sales, apparently.
It really did, but at the same time, it's absolutely ridiculous that, we got all these game-breaking bugs. And absolutely ridiculous that they're fixing things that benefit the player, but not, the game itself. Again, there are so many people that hit me up that are like, "Oh my God, this game is so broken. I can't get past this." And I keep looking into it. Like, I really do look into every single issue that everybody's having. Like, I look at it, but I mean, and so many people have similar problems and whatnot. But I can't find a fix to it. So we gotta wait for Ubisoft to number one actually pay attention to the players and fix those things. And, you know, like, it's just...
I've got to say very quickly, Amir's saying that he's an Xbox player but recently bought his PS4. I have to admit, you couldn't have picked a better game to start with.
Oh, Horizon Zero Dawn? Yeah, no.
Horizon Zero Dawn, the only problem I ever had with Horizon is it's very slow to start. I found the first hour of that game quite tedious, to be honest. But once you become grown-up Aloy and you get out into that open world, that game becomes something very special.
It does. It's absolutely incredible. And Fallout, yeah, he said, are you guys Fallout fans? Yeah, we're definitely Fallout fans. Like, Fallout, not 76. Not 76.
Please, I was about to say. Fallout, I never bought that, so like, luckily I didn't have to spend £100 on the subscription fee to fix the game.
Right. Yeah, no, Fallout 76 was a mess.
Fallout, yeah. If Ghost of Tsushima made a cutscene and animations better, it would get my reward. Listen, I don't know how you could have made Ghost of Tsushima any better than it already was.
Me neither.
And I've said this many times before, but Ghost of Tsushima is the absolute best Assassin's Creed game ever made, not by an Assassin's Creed developer.
Exactly.
And I would very much like Ubisoft to give the license for at least 10 years to Sucker Punch, please.
Yeah, I would love to see what they do.
I genuinely would. I would love to see a Sucker Punch made Assassin's Creed after Ghost of Tsushima. That'd be very interesting.
The current rumor is that the next Assassin's Creed game is coming out next year.
Oh, God.
And it's going to be dealing with China.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Oh, this game's going to fall... Shit. It's going to fall flat in its face, mate.
You think so?
I mean, I'm sorry, man. You look at what they did with Ghost of Tsushima and with Jin and the way he fights and the stances and... You know, if you want to play stealth, you play stealth, man, and my God, the stealth play. If you wanted to be an assassin in that game, you could be an assassin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just don't know how Ubisoft is going to top that, because Ubisoft does not make games like Ghost of Tsushima. Ubisoft make games that all look the same, but just happen in different worlds with different mechanics.
Right.
You know, and I don't know how, not unless Ubisoft went right back to the drawing board with Assassin's Creed. But what I would have hoped from, at least what I understand from the end of Valhalla, is a reboot.
Mm.
But clearly, if it's going to be in China, then I think Ubisoft have completely lost the fucking plot.
Really?
I think they do. If they're going to go to China this year, they've lost the plot.
No good.
This soon after Ghost of Tsushima, while Ghost of Tsushima is still dropping all this free content over the next God knows how long.
Right.
And they're going to come out with an Assassin's Creed game set in China. Fair enough. Might not be where... That's frustrating, man. It's like copy and paste.
Mm. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I feel like it's going to be some kind of like issue.
See, that's what I got from it, man. It was some sort of reboot, at least in retrospect. Like, that's what I got from what I understand from the game. But like, if they're going to go to China, like how? I don't know why they would do that, because
what would be the present day? What would be the present day, like if they went there, and then not just the present day, like what would the premise be? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's a good fit, honestly.
I don't know, man. I just wonder if maybe Assassin's Creed's had its time.
You think so?
I do wonder. I mean, you're talking a game franchise that's been going on for, what, 13, 14 years now?
Mm.
You know, its best days seem to have been the Ezio trilogy, and to some respect, Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag. And then after that, that's when the downhill spiral started. But also that's when Ubisoft open world started becoming collect everything and do everything. I wonder if they went back to the Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 formula, where they give you a couple of cities with a little bit of area to explore in the middle, and just invested in a story instead of giving you all this bull crap all around the map. to collect. I wonder if they went back to that original formula, if it would work for them again.
I see that. That's a good question. Like right now, people are not fans of the RPG element. Some people are. I could tolerate it. You know, it doesn't bother me.
I liked it in Origins. I enjoyed it in Odyssey. Valhalla's system is just backwards. It's like, look guys, we did this great thing with Odyssey and we completely advanced it in Odyssey, and it's like we're going to go all the way back to before Origins now, you know? Like Odyssey set this really great benchmark. And Valhalla came out and went, well, we know you liked Origins, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you Origins 1.5.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Valhalla, I keep saying, and you know, like we were talking about before, like I refuse to lie to everybody and say that Valhalla is the greatest Assassin's Creed. You know, Assassin's Creed basically made my channel. That was like the main thing that I did. And, you know, people got hyped up because I found a bunch of like secrets and glitches and stuff like that. But, you know, in all honesty, I'm not going to lie to people and tell them that this is, you know, like the greatest Assassin's Creed, because it really isn't. Right now, again, and somebody even laughed when I said that this game isn't even in my top 10 favorite Assassin's Creed games. He was like, oh, there's only 13. And I was like, you know, honestly, there are way more than 13. You know, you're not counting any of the mobile games. You're not counting the what do you call it?
The PSP games.
Yeah, the PSP and the PS Vita game. You know, you're just looking at main entries, and you know, like I look at them all. You know, like they are all under scrutiny, and they all deserve scrutiny. And you know, that's like a major thing. Like it really, you do really need to scrutinize the entire series. You know.
Yeah. And I still fully believe the best the series has been was Brotherhood.
Yeah. Yeah, Brotherhood had everything.
It was Brotherhood, man. And this is the thing, like, AFK makes a good point here. It's like, only good Assassin's bit in Valhalla is that Eivor can't do anything until Haytham teaches. And that's fine, but how much is Haytham actually in the game?
That's true.
Because I've played 110 hours, and I've spoke to him for, I don't know, 12 minutes.
Yeah, not even. He's really, really...
And he also puts another one where he says, you know, have it God of War PS4 style open world AC2 type missions. Now, as much as I would love to see an Assassin's Creed game built the way God of War is I still don't think it would work, because Assassin's Creed still has to have that sense of openness. Like once, you know, you have to be able to run around the city, do little things and bobs and bits. You can't just have it as a single coherent story with a few chests to punch open, sort of on the way. I think you still need that sense of I can explore, but I think once we got to Origins, Odyssey and Valhalla, the worlds just became too big.
You think so?
I think so. I think what they had with the original Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood and Revelations, I think was perfect.
That must be the buyers. Once they're together, you can take out the whole operation.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, you know, AC, it's come a long way, but it hasn't come a long way. Like, as far as we're seeing with Valhalla, like it really hasn't.
Yeah. And I also think that might have been part of the problem with Unity Syndicate. I mean, okay, Unity launched broken, but with Unity and Syndicate, you were essentially stuck to one city. You lost that exploration part where you weren't moving from one city to another, you were just in the city. And you had a couple of maybe offside missions where you left through DLC or something like that.
Right.
And that's when you saw it decline. And then Origins came out and it's like, well, here's a whole country. And people were like, ooh, it's so pretty. Because it was ancient Egypt.
It was.
You know,
well, I gotta admit too, like ancient Egypt is rife with conspiracy theory. You know what I'm saying?
Of course it is. It's perfect for an Assassin's Creed setting. Even if Alex Hutchinson from Assassin's Creed 3 can come out at the time and go, "We'll never go to Egypt." Well, clearly you did, and clearly it was your best Assassin's Creed, even better than your one, mate. And then you went and launched a monkey game, so good on you.
Right. That it's insane. Like honestly, going through Egypt, that was amazing because you know there's so much conspiracy theory, alien theory, all kinds of stuff like that. Where as far as that goes, so you know people were all about that. But then you know like you go back to you know like the garbage that you know we're getting now, and it's like, the hell, why? Why
does Amunet deserve a game? I have to ask, why does she deserve a game?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What has she done to deserve her own game?
Well, in honesty, if we look at the whole everything that happened in Origins, the way that they kind of like frame it is that Amunet actually created the assassins, but Bayek is credited.
At the same time, but also we know at the same time by Ubisoft leaks they have no interest.
Can't thank you enough, Spider-Man.
They have no interest in Amunet, you said? You cut out again, bud.
Glad I could help, Sam. You have yourself a happy holiday.
Yeah, it seems like silent cut out.
Doesn't get much better than thwarting a gang of toy thieves and saving the holidays for kids.
You said it. And I couldn't have done it without you, bro.
If I had my way, I'd be putting cuffs on you too, Spider-Man.
I get it, dude. You don't like vigilantes.
Sorry about that, man. I think my headset just went fucking weird again.
Truck's in trouble.
It's all good, bud. I just want to make sure you're okay. I mean, where it wouldn't be a show if we didn't have technical difficulties here. Like obviously,
listen, I'm in Scotland,
and going off topic.
Technical difficulties. But yeah, my headset just keeps going completely bizarre. Yeah, you see, Amunet would have had. I think if they were going to do, they had this whole Antiquities trilogy that was meant to have been where you had Egypt, then Greece, then Rome.
Right.
But Rome never happened. And I think I would have assumed that would have been the game that Amunet would have been the main one for.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know,
mindset.
Yeah, for those, because some people are asking about Amunet. For those of you who don't know, when you play the Assassin's Creed 2, there's a basement in the villa, and it shows old assassins. So one of the assassins is Amunet, and Amunet is actually supposed to be Bayek's wife from Assassin's Creed Origins. And, you know, in seeing that, she was part of the Origins. She helped create the Assassins, the Order. And, you know, like, for some reason, I guess her and Bayek never got together, but if you look in Valhalla, they actually show, you know, like, where they did kind of sort of get back together. At least that's what I'm assuming.
Well, at the end of the day, they still ended up buried in the same tomb.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they must have, you know, reconciled their sort of differences out later on down the line.
Right.
That still doesn't explain why she has two different tombs, though.
Well, I think that the one tomb in Italy is just, you know, like a. It's not obviously her actual tomb. It's you know, like something that they did just out of respect or something like that. You know, like they did it. That's kind of like how they decided to like do that, because like none of those assassins, there's no way that what's his name from the Hidden Blade Part 1 was buried in Italy either. You know, like he obviously died in Persia, so you know.
Yeah, that's. It's almost as if they just decided, look, we've got too much lore here to really make another game that we want to make, so we just kind of have to break lore a little bit and just kind of twist things and make it sort of to our own fashion to make our game work in some respects, especially with some of the more recent games.
Yeah, that they definitely did. They did, you know, like mess up like a lot of lore and stuff like that, but I mean, at the same time, they worked certain things out, which was kind of wild. I definitely would have loved to see other things happening in these games that, you know, obviously didn't happen. Valhalla really, I enjoyed the whole Viking thing. There was a debate on one of my videos where, you know, somebody said that Vikings was a good thing. Other people were saying, you know, having a Viking assassin really wasn't. You know, it all depends.
I think a part of the game that I definitely don't enjoy is the fact that it was Vikings. I don't know why. It's just Vikings don't seem a good fit for an assassin, if that makes sense. Like, Ubisoft can try and rewrite history in such a social justice way, warrior way all they want, but it comes across wrong in a game that's meant to be, you know, and you say it all the time. 90% of people play Assassin's Creed games because they're stupid enough to think they're historically accurate.
Yeah, that just drives me nuts. It really does. I cannot stand when a viewer, a sub, anybody, a fan of the series comes up and says, oh, well, you know, I play the game for the history. You're out of your mind if you play it for the history.
Yeah. You might have world events happening around you, but other than that, the story that you're playing, you understand you're playing as assassin, which means it never happened.
Exactly.
You know, like, some of the background stories and events that happen in the game, yes, they happen because that was the time period, but your assassin never existed.
Right.
So he never spoke to these people. He never assassinated these people. He never did any of these things. And that's why you should never go to Assassin's Creed for historical accuracy. Yes, go for background accuracy, but not story accuracy. You're nuts. I mean, if you're one of these people that think Ezio Auditore was a real character, then first of all, I wish he was, and second of all, you're insane.
For real.
You know, it's like these things didn't happen. You know, these people never interacted with each other.
Right.
So how could it have happened?
I see that I don't know, and that's why, like, you know, like I enjoy the idea that, you know, maybe Ezio like met Leonardo da Vinci and, you know, like all kinds of stuff like that. I enjoy that. That's great.
And it's such a cool story to think about. Alternative history.
Right.
I wouldn't say that when I was on.
I'm all for that, but you know, like you know, I don't think that people actually believe that this actually happened, that, you know, they interacted or whatever. I don't think so. But as far as like what happened and stuff like that, as far as you know, like the whole historical thing, even if like we're joking around and we're saying, you know, that this actually happened, yeah, it's cute, but it's not historically accurate. Nothing in these games is actually historically accurate.
And the problem is people buy these games thinking, I'll learn about history here, when realistically you'll learn about 10 to 15% of what was going on in the era, because that's where the game is set, not what the game is doing.
Right.
And yes, Ezio is real, because I tried to date his sister, cheated on her, and he beat the shit out of me 3 separate times.
Yeah, I just, you know, it makes me laugh though, because, you know, like, people are really serious. Like, they feel that we do not play Assassin's Creed for the gameplay itself. People, like, will literally tell me that they're playing the game for the historical, you know, like, information stuff. And you know what? Yes, there are certain things that go on that are historically accurate, but there's a lot of stuff that is not historically accurate.
Exactly.
You know? I'm not
like
playing Doom Eternal. Yeah, I'm not playing Doom Eternal to learn demonology. By no stretch of the imagination am I a master of the arcane or anything like that because I play Doom Eternal. So why would I be a master of history for a time period if I'm playing Assassin's Creed anything?
Exactly. Exactly. And this is the thing. Assassin's Creed should be taken for what it is. Assassins versus Templars. Not a history lesson that you think you're going to get in high school. Or something that you're going to learn out of a book in university. Because again, 10% of the story is historically accurate. Because these people never met Ezio. These people never spoke to him. These people never met Eivor. These people never met Cassandra. These people never... You know, it's the world around that's accurate, but the story is woven and is fictional completely.
Right.
So, and it is, it's that, how can you take it as historical accuracy? Because you just can't.
Yeah, it absolutely makes no sense. But for some reason, like, so many people really do believe that, like, you know, this is something that should be taken, you know, like, seriously.
Yeah.
And it really shouldn't. You know, it definitely should be taken with a grain of salt. You know, any Assassin's game, any game altogether should be taken with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Until the
I
salt
can't.
dissolves.
I can't wait till they make a 2020 version of Assassin's Creed. I want to see how historically accurate that is.
Listen, I would love to see them try to do a historically accurate game. If they were to take a single time period and go, right, let's make this into a game that has to be 100%, you know, 100% historically accurate. How can we do this? I would love to see how a game like that turned out, because I bet you it would be the most boring game on the planet.
It probably will. Well, no, not if it's based on 2020. 2020 has been out of control, and I'm sorry, I'm done with 2021. I've had my, you know, like my 9-day free trial. I'm not even going to go for the 14 days. I'm done with 2021 already.
Did you watch Yong Ye's? I finally finished the Coronavirus 2020 or whatever it was called, the game, and he literally reviews the game and what it's like to be an NPC on the streets and about the socially distancing things being completely broken and all that shit. It's fucking hilarious, man.
Is it?
He took 2020, mate, and he reviewed it as if it was a game, man. He talked about all aspects, the virus, the NPCs, what it was like to socially distance, the 2 feet apart shit, all that stuff, man. It was great to watch.
On Netflix, they've actually got a movie. It's called Death to 2020, and it's got Samuel L. Jackson. It's got like a bunch of these stars, and it is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen because they pull no punches. They talk so much crap about 2020. I just loved it. It was great. It was absolutely great. Cantor already knows. He says, I already know the plot of the Templars for Assassin's Creed 2020-2021. It's too easy. And Capital, yeah, Capital would be a great game. I shared that image with everybody where it was Assassin's Creed Capital, and it showed all these nut jobs storming the Senate Capitol, which was absolutely insane. I think you bounced out again, Silent.
Let's see, work this one out again. You hear me?
Yep.
Right, so what I was saying there was, he put that game as too easy, and I completely agree. I think the 2021 Assassin's Creed is going to get it completely wrong again, where you can upgrade your armor. You can upgrade your armor 19 times and still actually defeat the final boss in your underpants.
There you go. Well, honestly, like that's what you could do here with Valhalla. Like you don't even need any of these like advanced skins or anything like that. You could do whatever you want, and then you could beat the game. Like you could beat the game with nothing. You
Exactly,
could beat the game with simple stuff. It just with the very first gear you find, you could be naked and you could beat the game.
See, it's not just that. The game just feels unfinished. It feels like it needed another year in the oven to become Odyssey 2.0, if you know what I mean. And it's like Ubisoft just looked at the state of their company at the time and went, well, we've got about 10 different games, all that we need to release within the next wee while. Do you know what? Valhalla is going to be a massive seller for us regardless, and let's just get it out there. And then they're in a situation now where they're working from home and they've realised they've put this game out there and they're like, shit, this is maybe another year to a year and a half's development while at home. What do we do? And now they're stupid enough to turn around and go, here comes Assassin's Creed China in 2021. Are you fucking... Like, my daughter turns around and says this to me all the time. I'll go, no, darling, you're going to bed. And she'll look at me, and she's 3 years old, and she'll go, are you kidding me? You know? And that's how I feel with Ubisoft right now. It's like you've got a broken game, you're about to launch DLC, you're putting another Assassin's Creed out next year, which is probably going to launch worse than this one, because this one has been made from home. And the only thing that comes to my mind is my 3-year-old daughter going, are you kidding me?
Well, you know, what really blows my mind is that, you know, they're going to release another game. They still haven't fixed this one. All they seem to be concentrating on is every time you know, like one of us finds like some game-breaking bug that benefits us, they're
Because
fixing
their game's
that.
broken.
Yeah, they're fixing that, but they're not fixing the actual thing. And I know so many people that like have flat out told me this is the last Ubisoft game I buy. This is it. I'm not giving them any more of my money. I'm not doing anything more.
Well, I kind of have to agree with those people. I mean, you remember the conflict I had even buying this game.
Yeah.
And I said to you, look, I just don't know if I want to. Odyssey was a fantastic game, but a completely shit story. It doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed. And you were like, God love you. You were like, look, they're going to get it right. They're going to fix it. They're going to do it. I feel like they've got it. They're going to do it right. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll take a chance.
Yeah, you saw the Assassins come back. You were excited about that.
When those trailers came out, when those final trailers came out, I said to you, fuck me. That's exactly what I needed to see. And I went all out. I spent 93 quid on the full Ultimate Edition, the Season Pass, the missions, the costume packs, all came with it. And fuck me, I haven't finished the game. And it's been out for 3 months. I'm bored shitless with it. And they're about to launch DLC to a broken game, but they're more than willing to patch the exploits that we find to make the game easier for us because their systems are broken.
Yeah, that's what blows my mind. Like, you know, and big shout out to Anthony Beale. He's found a bunch of these farms and stuff like that. He's found like a bunch of like really wild things so that you can get materials and everything. And I know they're going to patch all of that. They're going to fix it so that you never have to do any of that stuff, that you really have to play the game. In all honesty, these games, they want to keep us engaged. They want to keep us playing because it lets investors know that, you know, they did something right. But the thing is that at the same time, we're bored. We are bored. Yeah, I agree with AFK. Valhalla gear is garbage. The special mission rewards, the skill points, it's garbage. It's absolutely
compared to Odyssey. Listen, Odyssey might be the best RPG Ubisoft ever put out. The problem with Odyssey is it was an Assassin's Creed game, and it shouldn't have been. The game should have just have been called Odyssey.
Yeah, it definitely should have.
And then the first Civilization shit could have been a massive surprise for people. Like, wow, they connected this to Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do that. They called it Assassin's Creed, and then gave you a game that had fuck all to do with Assassins. And then their DLC comes out, and it's like, well, here's Darius. He's the first person to ever kill with the hidden blade. He's not an assassin, but he's going to dress and act like one.
Right.
You know, and I keep saying this over and over again. Odyssey's not a bad game. Odyssey's an extremely good game. It's just a shit show when it comes to Assassin's Creed lore.
It is. It is. And you know, like, honestly, it's a great game. It's not a great Assassin's Creed game, but it's a great game.
Games of a service should end AFK, and this is why games of the service should end. Because if Assassin's Creed goes back to what it was in the beginning, then we ain't going to get buggy launches. We're not going to have to connect to servers. We're not going to have massive stores. We're not. Well, you know, we'll still have the stores, I suppose, because they still had them in Unity and whatnot. But you take the live service out of the game and just let your development company focus on a single-player game like what they were doing originally when it came to Assassin's Creed. You know, Ubisoft. You understand that's when Assassin's Creed was good, yeah?
I don't understand Valhalla. I thought, in all honesty, and I was completely wrong, I thought it was going to be a return to form. I thought it was going to be absolutely fantastic because it was the Origins team. I felt that it was going to be just mind-blowing, and it really isn't. It does nothing new. It really screws up like a lot of stuff. Like, in all honesty, again, not a fan. It doesn't do anything that's remarkable or anything like that. It doesn't do anything important. It doesn't do anything like fun. It's a cut and paste of Odyssey and Origins, and it actually gets the formula wrong. It gets a lot of things wrong. from like having the Raven. And somebody said, well, you know, ravens don't have great eyes like eagles do. I get that. You know, but I mean, why give us something useless? Don't give me a Raven then.
Yeah, just give me a full-on, proper, completely flushed out eagle vision.
Yeah.
Like, the eagle shouldn't have been a thing in Valhalla. That eagle is completely useless. Or should I just say the Raven is completely useless to what you have in Odyssey and Origins. It shows nothing. The great thing about Odyssey that I loved was you could throw that eagle right up into the sky, you could map every single enemy, and you could have a strategy because of that.
Mm.
And what Valhalla does is Valhalla's like, well, the eagle or the Raven is going to show you absolutely nothing, and you have to be within a certain radius for your eagle vision to even work to pick up the enemy, and you have to rank up.
Right.
And it's, well, that's kind of shit, because then if I try and assassinate him, but because I can't see behind that wall, and there's 4 of the hardest guys in the game behind that wall, that causes a problem for me for a player, because I can't look at that and go, I know exactly how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go boom, 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 take him out, take him out, take him out. And the great thing is, Ghost of Tsushima did it without eagle vision.
Exactly. Ghost of Tsushima was fantastic. I'm pretty sure I could find a complaint about Ghost of Tsushima, but like I mean, it's rare. It's rare that I would find something to complain about.
See, I have to admit, man, I like Cassandra as well. I think Cassandra might be the best player since Ezio, in my opinion.
Mm.
It just is. I liked Cassandra as a voice actor, as a character. When it came to her brother, though, Alexios, even when you play as him, man, I couldn't get over the voice.
Yeah, he really, that killed me.
He was such a cheesy ass. Like, honestly, man, like, we understand the main character is meant to be Cassandra because she's canon anyway. So why even include Alexios? And this is this whole male-female thing that bloody Ubisoft keeps getting pulled up for. They don't think female characters sell for some reason.
Well, because there's a lot of different areas in the world where, like, honestly, like Tomb Raider doesn't sell well in the Middle East because, you know, it's a very... I'm not going to say, you know, anything bad about the Middle East, but they are very male-oriented. They're very, you know, it's a macho kind of area. You know, they want to play games that have male protagonists. So Uncharted would outsell Tomb Raider hands down, even if Uncharted produced like a real crap game. I mean, Tom Holland is going to be I'm very upset about that. Like
I've seen one screenshot with him standing on what looks like a wrecked boat, and the first thing I thought is like, he looks like a fucking 10-year-old.
I'm sitting here like, why? And then Mark Wahlberg, he's gonna be the older guy, and he's gonna be Sully. I was like, no, why?
Yeah, he looks nothing like Sully, mate.
No, I was sitting there. I was like, you know, I can't. I was like, why are you doing that?
Yeah. Sony Pictures for you, man. Like, they're doing a Resident Evil reboot. Did you know about that?
Yeah, that I knew.
And the actors and actresses that have been picked for the role, mate, look nothing like what the guy who's been picked to play Leon S. Kennedy.
Mm.
He looks like some Mexican gangster compared to Leon.
That is hilarious.
I cannot wrap my head around this, because they're not allowed to do like a direct copy of the games. It has to be an original story for them to use the Resident Evil name. So they can't like completely copy Res 1, 2, 3, like beat by beat the way the games went. And that's understandable, but come on, man. If your cast doesn't look the part, then how do you expect the fans, especially, to be invested? Whether you like it or not, you're making a video game adaptation. Mm-hmm. Your audience is going to be video game players.
This is true.
If Leon doesn't look like Leon and he looks like some Rastafarian guy with dreadlocks, it's not going to work.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like if you're going to go and, I don't know, say you do a life story about Denzel Washington, and then you go cast some guy from the Caribbean, it's not going to look right, is it?
No.
You know, it's like you want your viewer to be invested in your story, so invest in your cast.
Exactly. See, AFK brings up a good thing. He says, you know, the problem is if you're making an original story, don't give in to the social justice warriors. And I gotta say that's a massive problem. That's a massive problem.
You've got idiots out there like Anita Sarkeesian.
Oh.
Who have.
I just got a hemorrhoid as soon as you said her name.
You know, I mean, she's one of the main reasons fucking BioWare screwed up Mass Effect.
Well, you know what the thing is? The problem with a lot of these social justice warriors, when you're dealing with like Anita Scarsazian and stuff like that, like they make their living off of, you know, that kind of nonsense. Yeah. They make their living off of that.
An advice giver. Because I don't know anybody on social media who takes her seriously anymore.
Well, you know, some people do. Some people like, did you hear that they were going to make a Gamergate movie? Did you hear about that?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's coming of that since the announcement, but a lot of people were very quick to whoa and growl and roar.
Yeah, no, because it was going to be a BuzzFeed Studios thing where they were basically going to do like the whole Gamergate thing. And, you know, it died in the water because nobody wanted this movie. The whole premise wouldn't have made any sense at all. You know, okay, it's a girl. She, you know, like had a problem with a certain, you know, like whatever job she had in the gaming industry, and she decides that she's going to go and raise a team of other girl gamers who are going to, you know, like absolutely kill these boys at whatever event and everything. Okay, so that's a good premise, but okay, you're going to take, you already have professional gamer guys that you're going to go against, and you're just going to raise a team of misfits who never even touched a controller, and they're going to kill these guys? Like, are you kidding me? It would be one thing if you told me that it was going to be, you know, like you raised a team of like misfit gamers, girls who were, you know, considered underrated or something like that. I'd go with that. I would absolutely roll with a movie like that. But you're telling me that these people never touched a controller, and they're going to win? Get the fuck out of here.
I have to ask, man. Do you remember that whole Bully Hunters bullshit? Back in the the Xbox 360 into the PS4 era, where you had that fucking group of people that would jump on Call of Duty and try and find men that were bloody bullying lassies online.
Oh, yeah, that Bully Hunters thing. Yeah, oh my god, that was such a failure.
Like, I remember that, man. They did a live stream one night, and it was an absolute disaster. Like,
yeah, you know, like, and it was all pre-recorded. It was all pre-recorded. There was nothing. There were no guys that were actually doing it. And you know what? I gotta say, in all honesty, you know, like, yeah, we talk a lot of crap to each other when we're playing games together and stuff like that.
But if you play Call of Duty, if you play Call of Duty and you are the Modern Warfare 2 Black Ops 1 era, and you're going to be in public lobbies with, you know, 11 other players, someone's going to hit you up with some shit that you don't like.
Exactly.
You know, whether you've been killed, you've been slapped, you've been dissed, that's what lobbies were. And this is the thing. This Bully Hunters was like, oh, the way guys speak to lassies online, is just disgusting. And you hear some of the things that's like, hey girl, you should be in the kitchen and stuff like that. But yet when you hear two guys doing it, it's like, listen bitch, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you, give me your address, I'm gonna fucking beat the fuck out of your mum and all that. You know what I mean? It's like 10 times harsher.
Right. Yeah, that thing like, it was all nuts. And the Cantor is right, that Bully Hunters thing was a scam. It was to sell headsets, basically.
Yeah. Your voice is very fair.
Yeah, I guess my voice is fair. I don't know.
Do you know what it is, man? You sound like one of those dwarfs from the Disney cartoons. Oh, Gamergate was a complete fuck up, mate. It was just Strider will explain that one better than I can.
Yeah, Gamergate
is just a
basically
mess.
was there was a game journalist who was sleeping with her boss. And not only was she sleeping with her boss, she was sleeping with like a bunch of other dudes, and she kind of got called out for it. And you know, like I mean, it is what it is. I don't care that she slept with whoever. You know, it's her business. You know, the dude, to me, her boss was absolutely wrong for sleeping with her. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that is just absolute crap. But what ended up happening was she perpetrated like she was a victim. You know, okay, you're not a victim when you were actively involved in sleeping with all these people and stuff like that. You know, like you are not the victim.
It's like that Harvey Epstein thing, isn't it? Really, it's like were these lassies actually victims?
Right.
You know, they did. At the end of the day, they might have benefited from sleeping with him, but they did sleep with him at their own will.
Right.
You know, and it's like, he's now in jail for that. Now, I completely disagree in his business practice. I think there's better business than the way he did it.
Right.
You know, like, there's always better way of business. I mean, Jesus Christ, respect your staff, for fuck's sake. These people are making millions and billions at the box office. I mean, fuck, at least respect them. You know,
that's what it's all about. Like, it is about the respect. Like, you know, do females get harassed online? Yes.
Oh,
yes,
of course
they
do. But don't be so naive to think that males don't.
Exactly. Well, you know, like we go through like some shit and everything like that. But in all honesty, like my friend Dina Valentine, big Twitch streamer, she has dudes, you know, like talk to her in like the most disrespectful of ways, and you know, without any sort of consequence, without, you know, she doesn't like look for them to say anything to her. You know, she's just playing games live. She's doing her thing, and of course, you have scumbags that, you know, she's a very pretty girl. They look at her, they say stuff. It's unnecessary. Those guys are scumbags. You know. Anybody who really is, you know, out to like actually verbally abuse or hurt somebody, you're garbage. You are absolute garbage. You know?
Absolutely.
And again, you know, like by no means does she like look for this stuff. Not that, you know, like any woman is looking for this stuff, but you know.
And as well, to put it bluntly, at the end of the day, if you're in a public lobby in a Call of Duty game and it's a lassie that puts you down, she does not deserve you to turn, you know, she doesn't deserve anybody turning around to her and going, oh, you slut, I'm a fucking do you.
You're right.
You know, she doesn't deserve that. At the end of the day, do you know what? You're playing a game. Fucking get over it.
Exactly.
You know, you got put down. She was the better person in that moment. She was able to kill you. Even if she was sticking her head out a window or doing, you know, fucking whatever, you know, you're just as guilty as doing the same thing as any other person. But she doesn't need to be called dirty names in order for you to make yourself feel better.
Exactly.
You know, and this is why shit like Gamergate and that comes about. And bully hunters, because do you know what? I suppose human race bad.
Yeah. No, what happens is that, like, you know, like these people make their living off of victimhood. These people make their living, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least, you know, like, you know, any female gamer that's out there that's really, you know, like playing and stuff like that, like they're doing their thing. But, you know, some of them are victimized. Some of them, like, really do have, you know, like guys being scumbags to them and everything. But, you know, like some of them, they make their living, like Anita Scarsazian. She makes her living off of victimhood. You know?
Exactly, man.
She has to complain about stuff.
Well, AFK, like, I use Twitch, but I'll tell you now, the only time I ever watch Twitch is when it's Destiny's World First raid race, in which case I will tune into Glad and his team, but other than that, I don't use Twitch. It's a cesspit.
I use Twitch. I support, you know, like certain members of the community. Like I said, Dina Valentine, great gamer. Great gamer. She has like a lot of good stuff. She's actually been in the Discord a lot often, and she's been, you know, like posting some of her videos and stuff like that, which, I mean, they're hilarious. Like she did like a Bendy video where she was playing Bendy, and I was laughing my ass off because, you know, like she gets nervous, she gets, you know, it's a jump scare game, and just to see her like, you know, like jumping screen, it was funny. It was good entertainment. It really was. She's a great entertainer, but you know, by no means should people, you know, like really go in on her. Like some people, they actually go in on her, and some women who play games, like guys, for some reason, and a lot of us need to stop this nonsense where we're acting like we're there to help you, but you know we're trying to like bone these chicks, you know, and stop that. Stop that.
It's like, I'm here to help, but I really want to get in your pants.
Exactly.
Sort of
yeah.
it's
Stop
like,
that.
Dude,
That's
never
garbage.
That's
scummy.
Like, dude, yeah, it's like, dude, it's never going to happen. You understand? Not only does she not probably live thousands of miles away from you, but she's probably going to take one look at you and go, "Yeah, right." You know what I mean?
I don't know what the fantasy is. I don't know, you know, like certain.
This is where the word simp comes from, isn't it? You know, which is now banned apparently on Twitch. If you type it in, it's a blocked word.
Exactly. It's nuts. And AFK is right. You know, they changed Twitch Prime. It's Prime Gaming. Most of female streamers, they do show themselves in full screen, and they're doing all kinds of like crazy things and whatnot.
So where do you stand with body art then? Do you think that should be acceptable on Twitch?
Oh yeah, Danny, she actually
seems to be the very big thing. It seems to be the one that people are talking about, because that's the one where lassies are essentially nude.
Yeah, there was this one streamer, Danny. She actually she was doing a body art stream, and she got banned from Twitch. And you know, they said that, like, you know, she was doing something that violated the terms of service, yet, you know, she covered, you know, like her nipples, all right. But you know, she did do her body art,
like as they do with little flower petals and stuff.
Yeah. So one of the things that her problem was, she said, they seemed to ban you. Like, she wasn't very good at the body art. She said that if you're good at the body art, they leave you alone. If you're terrible at body art, they actually, you know, they do what they did to her, and they gave her a ban.
So essentially, they're looking at it as something else. So it doesn't matter if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner, you're still going to be essentially prosecuted as if you're something else.
Yeah. I'm honestly, this is where I lie with body art. Like body art, that's good and all. You know, if you're doing it, if that's your thing, that's fine. But I really do feel like, okay, you're gonna get a ban. You know, but then at the same time, there was one woman, I forget her name, and she showed her whole thing. She showed her whole downstairs, which she claims was an accident.
Oh, wait a minute, you're on about... Oh, wait a minute, I know... Alita?
Yeah.
Yeah, I admit... Oh, shit, man. Optimus and everybody was talking about that when it happened.
Yeah.
I remember
and
that.
she showed her whole downstairs, and she just got like a 3-day whatever.
Yeah, she got a slap in the wrist and a 3-day ban.
Exactly.
Her name was Alita or something, but I remember that when that happened, man. That was everywhere. Everybody online was talking about that. Review Tech, Optimus, Geeks, Gamers, everybody.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane.
It was the hypocrisy of it. You know, if a guy had done that, it would have been an insta-ban. But because it was this lassie... I mean, did this lassie not, like, feed her cat vodka, throw it over her head and shit like that?
Something like that. And you know, like, I get that, but, you know, like, at the same time, like, I cut that nonsense out. Like, she should have gotten permabanned. That's something that you permaban something better. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, some of these girls that are doing the body art, where they are covered up, you know what I'm saying? They're still being banned, and it's like, what? What are you talking about? Why?
Yeah, Twitch is very... I don't know, man. Lots of people are coming out against Twitch lately and saying that they're very 50-50 when it comes to their content. And who's streaming and what's getting said and all these
one thing I'm going to say definitely, if you're making money on that platform, they're not going to ban you. they're not gonna.
Oh,
And
yes,
the thing
they
is,
are. Yes, they
no,
are.
no, because
Yes,
they make
are.
money.
Well,
No.
if you're a guy, they are.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely. But like
I
it's like YouTube. YouTube, I'm making like crazy money. Do you know that I don't put any of those commercials on any of my videos? I leave it up to YouTube. And I've gotten complaints from people that are like, you know, you've got way too many commercials on here for like, you know,
I get
like
none.
your size.
Well, I'm
You
in
know?
Scotland, man. I can tell you when I watch a video of yours, I get none. I
Really?
get none at the beginning, none in between, none at the end.
I get them all over the place. And in fact, Lady Strider, she was watching one of my videos the other day, and she's like, "Do you realize you've got like this many, you know, like commercials in your video?" And I was like, "What? Really?" Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, "That's
honestly,
crazy."
Really, no, I get no adverts to your videos whatsoever.
That's insane. Well, you check it now because they, whether you're, you know, like big on the platform or not, what they're doing is they're putting commercials regardless, just so that they make money. YouTube.
Well, let me go to your channel now, and I'll tell you just how often I get. If I go to Dark Strider, so there's the podcast, there's your Doom Eternal Rap and Tear event, right?
Right.
Straight into video, no advert. There's no yellow bars on my line for adverts. So if I come out of that, go straight into the Cairn Stone rant, straight into the video, no adverts.
Really?
I get no adverts in Scotland on your videos at all.
That's weird. Oh, AFK says he doesn't get any adverts on my thing either.
But
Which
yeah,
is,
well, are you good holding this conversation for 2 minutes? I'll be straight back.
yeah, I got it.
Simon, straight back.
Yeah, AFK, like, honestly, like, I've got, like, tons, and I even close my ad block while watching you. That's funny, because there are, like, so many people that have been complaining lately that I've got, like, way too many commercials. I mean, I throw my own commercials in there. I throw my own, like, at the end, if I've got, like, a 5-minute video sometimes, I'll throw in, you know, like, my advertisements, you know, for, like, my channel, for my alternate channel and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun, but some people, they've actually flat out complained to me. They've been like, hey, listen, you got way too many commercials. And I don't put those. YouTube does that. YouTube puts that in there. And the reason that YouTube puts that in there is because, you know, they obviously they want to make money, you know. That's what they're doing. They're making cash off of that as well. I don't really make money. I do make money off of you know, like the advertisements, but not as much as I do with you guys donating, my Patreon, with you guys with that buy me a coffee thing, things like that. That's where I really make my money. You guys buying T-shirts and stuff. That's where my money is made. I'll put a link to I'll put a link to it here. You know, like after we're done, so you can find Silence channel. Silence kind of been he's kind of been like on a hiatus. He hasn't really been putting out a whole lot of content. We've been talking about it. He does want to put out some more content, which would be absolutely amazing. We might even do a couple of things where, you know, it's like a dual cast kind of thing. We definitely want to do something like that. A lot of fun though. Also, AFK, you're on our Discord, so you've seen Dina. Dina's got her channel up. She's got certain things going on that she does, which is absolutely hilarious. I strongly advise everybody, you know, like definitely look at her stuff as well. A lot of fun. She is a lot of fun. She puts out a lot of content, which is hilarious. A lot of the things that she's put out recently has really made me laugh. Like, especially her jump scare stuff. Really good stuff. Love it. And she's on Twitch a lot. Yep. Yeah, I'm glad AFK. Like, she is like really funny. I can't believe there's a Black Lives Matter thing in Miles Morales.
Yeah, it was going to happen, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, AFK. I can't breathe while watching her either. It's funny. Yep, she is amazing. She's funny. Black Lives Matter. You know what do you feel about what do you call it, about like politics and games and stuff like that?
I don't know. A part of me thinks it should be kept out of games because the minute you start bringing politics into the thing, you're splitting your audience to some extent.
Right.
But for a game like Miles Morales, then like it's kind of understandable, because let's be honest with you. I mean, Miles Morales having his own game is kind of big.
It is.
You know, and it came out during a time where, you know, it was the message it was going about, and so it's like I get it, but I wish they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way. I kind of feel like, you know, they should leave certain political things out of like games and stuff like that, unless it's like really big where it's part of the story. Like I say it all the time. I always say that, like, I don't care who my protagonist is. I don't care if it's like, you know, some black transgender lesbian whatever, you know, like I don't care. Let it be relevant to the game though.
Yeah. And at the same time, I also wonder if it sends the wrong message, because yes, I mean, I do completely agree that black lives do matter. And I do, but I also believe that every life matters, and people get ridiculed for saying that. And I also feel we send the wrong message to the younger generation, because you have a whole young generation of people out there who play a game, and halfway through it they say something that says Black Lives Matter, and they're white or they're Hispanic or they're another race, and they go, well, what about my life? Why isn't there a wall that says Brown Lives Matter? Why isn't there a wall that says White Lives Matter? Why isn't there a wall that says Chinese Lives Matter? You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, I understand the reasons behind it, and I do get it, and it is shit. And whether you like to admit it or not, it does happen.
Look, man, just let these people go.
But you're not being singled out. It happens to everybody.
Right.
To some extent around the world, so it's not just a Black Lives thing.
Well, you know, like I kind of feel like, first of all, like I don't want politics or anything in my games. I play these games to escape from my current reality, you know?
I mean, that's like loading up Assassin's Creed Odyssey, innit? And getting to Phenopoly and then walking into a nice building and all of a sudden you've got a Trump 2021 poster on the wall, innit?
Right.
You know, I mean, that like that's the blunt force, and that's where, unfortunately, where gaming is going. You have all these sports games that are now adding ads into their games, like what was it that basketball one? 2K.
Oh yeah.
It's like, how long is it until you load up that game and you're met with a 3-minute ad of the next person wanting to be president, and that's the only ad you see every single day for 6 months?
Right.
And this
that would
is
be
why
ridiculous.
I believe, you know, and unfortunately that's how the world is going. You look at, is it Facebook and Instagram just banned Donald Trump?
Yeah, they both. Facebook
him.
and Twitter. They both completely banned.
So Twitter did do it.
Yeah, they completely banned this stuff. I actually followed him.
I hadn't heard that Twitter did it, but I heard that Facebook and Instagram did it. Now that's crazy, because that's every single major corporation on the planet going, Trump, you're a fucking idiot.
No, not just them. Also, YouTube. He had a YouTube channel. It's gone.
See,
he had a Twitch channel. He had a Twitch channel. It's gone.
Wow. He had a Twitch and a YouTube channel.
Yeah, where he was promoting, you know, like obviously, you know, like his policies and everything like that. So, you know, like a big question is, are they violating his freedom of speech?
Well, in a way they are. They've cut off the current president of the United States from speaking to the people.
Right.
So this is a very, very severe precedent that's been made, or a precedent, should I say, that's been made.
Yeah.
We now know that if big companies want to shut down our governments, our presidents, our prime ministers, our sultan, our kings, whatever you want to call them, they can do that now at the touch of a button. So a precedent has been made here.
Yeah,
because
I gotta admit,
love or hate him, he has showed the flaws of social media.
I have to admit, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I'm not, but I have to say that, you know, this is kind of crazy that he is not allowed to have his own forum. Like that is to me that's kind of like that's incredible. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that because you could say, and the other thing is that us YouTubers, we're not allowed to say certain things anymore. You will be shut down. Your channel can be shut down if you follow certain policies of his. If you say certain things, like you can't even have the opinion that the election was stolen. That's not my opinion, but let's say somebody wanted to debate me right now. Let's say you wanted to debate me right now. They would shut this channel down because you're not allowed to say stuff like that.
Well, here's the great thing then. Because I won't debate you. And here's why I won't debate you. Because they're all fucking idiots. And not one of them deserves to be in office. Not one of them deserves to be telling us how to run our lives. Look at what they've done to the economy of the planet over the last year.
Right.
Right? Now, I've got no interest in even my own government. Nicola Sturgeon in Scotland, as far as I'm concerned, she may as well have me in a prison cell right now. When it comes to the English government, the man looks like he should be wearing a diaper and sucking on a dummy. When it comes to America, you guys have got your own shit to deal with. So, like, your shit, like, doesn't even, you know, like, is a lot worse than what we've got. We're being treated like prisoners. Like, you've got a whole revolution starting.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I mean, like, we're sitting here and taking it and quite literally up the bums by the government. And you guys are over there, and you are about to hit civil war. And Trump's on TV going, this is just the beginning. What a great message to share, mate. What a great message to share. Your capital city just got attacked, and the first thing you can think of saying is, this is just the beginning.
I gotta say, that one of the funniest things ever is the guy that stole the podium out of...
Such a happy face on him.
But he put it on eBay. It's on eBay, that podium. It's at like $44,000 US right now. It's That's hilarious. Great. Yeah.
But it's like the whole world is just in such a calamity right now that nobody can say they've got it worse. Nobody can say they've got it better. But you have to bring in that question. It was prophesized the world would go to shit before the world ended.
Exactly.
The world has officially gone to shit.
Exactly.
And we still can't get a good Assassin's Creed game.
That is the most egregious thing
it was the only thing I was looking forward to. Like, Ghost of Tsushima was like the most beautiful woman that comes out of nowhere and just makes your fucking year. Right? And Assassin's Creed Valhalla was meant to be the game to define the Assassin's Creed. It was Ubisoft at the pivotal of their RPG godness. And they came out as something that looked like it had been fucked by Freddy Krueger.
Yeah! I don't know what's going on. And the sad thing is that there's so many people, like, not even joking, that they tell me all the time, they're like, I'm never buying another Ubisoft game, or I'm done with the Assassin's Creed series, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not giving them any more of my money. There are people just like you that they're just not playing the game. They're not.
Yeah, I played 110 hours and I'm out.
Yeah, a lot of people are feeling that way. A lot of people are not happy with the game. It's not polished. It's not what we were promised.
It looks nowhere near as good as Origins or Odyssey. Origins
exactly.
Was a goddamn good looking game, but Odyssey was stunning. Odyssey was fucking beautiful. And then Valhalla comes out, and it looks like I just walked out my fucking front door.
Exactly. It's absolutely terrible. You know what? It is a good game, but it's not polished. That's the problem. It's not refined. Yeah, it's really not. It's really not. They might AFK. Try it. Try it.
I feel shit saying that.
Ubisoft gave me a refund for the DLC for Far Cry 5 because I was like severely disappointed. I told them that their DLCs were absolute garbage. I was waiting for that zombie game, that zombie thing, and it was absolute trash. Absolute trash.
See, luckily for me, I have never enjoyed Far Cry, so it's, like I says, the only game I have ever played that Ubisoft put out was Prince of Persia back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And Assassin's Creed. Far Cry bores the shit out of me. Watch Dogs is... Yep, not interested. I just never have been. I played Watch Dogs 1, it wasn't for me, so I just never went to 2 or Legion.
Well, Watch Dogs, they lied about Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs was supposed to be a completely different experience, and they never followed through on that at all.
Well, I remember the Xbox 360 sort of preview of the original Watch Dogs when they first announced it back at E3 all back in the day. And then it came out and it looked nothing like the demo, and that's when this whole stop lying to us at E3 with cinematic shit and start showing us the game stuff started. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I said, like, Ubisoft's very difficult for me. Like, I enjoy Assassin's Creed, but that's literally about the only thing I enjoy that they put out.
Really? Have you tried any of those other games at all?
I've tried Far Cry. I had Far Cry 3. I had the original Far Cry on PC back in the day, man, and it just never got into them. Never. Assassin's Creed 1 for me was like a fucking epiphany. You know what I mean? Like, I played that game and I was just like, wow, this is cool, man. The whole welcome to the Animus, you know, and here's how you attack people and slay people, and then you wake up in Jerusalem and you've got the fight with Robert the Sable at the beginning, and then you black out and then you wake up and you go back to the assassin hideout and you meet Al-Mualim and he tells you that, you know, here's what's happened, and then you realise you fucked up and you're back to the beginning and you've got 9 people to assassinate. Like, I miss that shit. Why the fuck do we need 45 cult members?
I don't know. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Like, why can't we just have 10 prominent people in 10 districts in a good-sized map with a fucking legendary story? Because if you stop spending the money on the open worlds and all the side shit, you'd actually have more money to invest in the story. Ezio's trilogy is proof of that. Yeah, it's at this point it's frustration because I want a good Assassin's Creed game, but I think I have to come to the realization that we're not going to get it.
And you know what? Speaking of Ubisoft games, did you hear that what happened over here in the United States, the Capitol raid? They're blaming on another Ubisoft game called The Division.
Wow, because of the whole that's their Destiny live service one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. If they're blaming it on games, then yeah, you shouldn't be in government because you're taking more drugs than the gamers are.
That's how I felt. I was like, are we seriously blaming a game that nobody really plays, that some people play, but not...
There was a big study that came out and it followed, like, I don't know if you heard about this, but it followed a bunch of people, like hundreds of people that started playing Grand Theft Auto 5 when they were like 14, all the way through to about 17 and 18, and you know, there was 0% chance that any of these people were going to do anything like crazy or mad because they played a game like GTA 5. And this is the reason why games like GTA 5 exist, is because you can have these mad, weird little fantasies that you have in your head in the game.
Right.
It stops you from going out and actually doing it. Because you can do it in a game, you can rob a bank in a game, so because you robbed a bank in a game, you don't want to go rob it in real life, because you got the satisfaction of getting millions from a game that you can buy sweet shit and loot for your game.
I don't think that, you know, like it prevents you from doing any of that stuff, but I do think that, you know, it's a stretch if you're saying that that's what's going to cause it. Exactly.
It's not going to make it. It's like, you know, it's like some of these people are like, you know, Grand Theft Auto and the prostitution thing. See how you can like buy a prostitute, then run them over, then take your money back.
Right.
And people have a problem with that, and it's like, right, I get you have a problem with that, but you know, if you were to actually do that, that's what would happen, yeah. Like you would literally run her over, take your money back, and drive away. And it's like it's in the game, but people are not out there doing that in real life. And if they are,
not at all.
Complete scumbags. And if they are, they're out there and they're complete scumbags. I don't see anybody out there pretending to be fucking Tony Montana. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, one of the things that I always say that, you know, like if we're worried about that, then, you know, why aren't we worried about the Bible? There's you know, in the Bible itself, there's masturbation, there's you know, like incest, there's, you know, like pedophilia, things like that. So why you read the Bible? Also, are you a pedophile? You know, like you're not.
No. And here's the thing, and here's something you also have to think to yourself. Because I don't know a single man, a single father out there that could watch his own son be crucified and killed the way he was killed and not intervene.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
And like, I have to put that out there. Like, if I was the Almighty, the heavenly power, and my son was being put on a crucifix and being killed for sins that were not his own, would I intervene? Yeah, fucking damn right I would.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like oh, you got like, look at the burning bush. That man was on some serious acid. You know, and it turns out the bush that was burning actually emitted LSD. So he probably actually saw a fucking big thing come down from the sky with eccentric wheels, with lines and goats in between them and all that shit. And it's like, well, do you know what? Well, if that plant is what it is meant to be, then yes, he would have had an LSD trip while it was burning.
I'm telling you, so like, you know, like that kind of stuff, it's wild, you know? But they're literally blaming the division as the reason that these people stormed the Capitol. Now, did you do any research? Do you know that all these people actually play that game? You know, like, come on, you know?
Well, then you've also got to then turn around and point the finger at the Simpsons, because the Simpsons seem to think that Donald Trump's going to be assassinated this year.
Right.
Right? So if that actually happens, then I hope the CIA, FBI, FIB, whatever the fuck they are immediately right up 20th Century Fox and Disney's ass. Because they know something they're clearly not sharing.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And that's the thing, is will this one come true? Will Donald Trump die in 2021? The Simpsons predicted it years ago. Everything the Simpsons has had so far has come true.
Yep.
Will this one? And did we see the start of it with a raid on the Capitol? Because he said again, it's only the beginning.
Right.
So what's he got up his fucking sleeve?
I don't know, but he obviously has his army, he has his audience.
Could it be little best friend Kim Jong-un?
Maybe. Well, they already said, I've been reading like news reports and everything, they're saying that they're a couple of these senators are talking to like the military brass over here, to making sure that, you know, they're calling him unhinged. And they want to make sure that like he has no access to nukes and stuff.
Yeah, well, this is what I was reading, and this is what popped up about an hour ago on mine. Is you just want him out of office like right now. You literally want him gone, and it needs to go to somebody who can be trusted. Because the article was, who the fuck holds the military codes? Because apparently Trump is out.
Right.
Like that's the article that I read over here. So if Trump is out, who the fuck does have the military codes?
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy, it's like, the whole situation.
It's like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I have got to say, the last 2 years, I mean, with the coronavirus and stuff, like last year and then going into this year, it's been rocky for the countries, but for yous especially, it's been ridiculous. Because you've had the Black Lives Matter stuff.
Right.
Right? You've had anti-police stuff, which is ridiculous in its own right. And then you've got all the crap at the end of the year with the election, and now you've got all this shit at the beginning of this year. And it's like, what is going on over there, man?
I don't know. I'm done. I'm done with my free trial. I'm tired of living in. I'm tired of living in historical times. Like this is.
You know,
It's rubbish right now.
in some ways, it's we're looking at our governments going, you've taken all our rights away, you've made us into prisoners, we're only allowed to go to the shops if we actually need something.
Right.
But you understand that nobody's actually listening to you. So now they're talking about bringing in harsher rules for us because the scientists in the UK think the public isn't taking it as seriously as last time. And it's like, well, of course the public's not taking it as seriously as last time because people have to earn money to live. They have mortgages to pay. Banks are taking people's homes.
That's crazy.
But you're telling us we can't, we can't work.
I need to charge it.
And if we go to work, we're facing 10 grand fines, £10,000 fines for going to work.
That's crazy.
Which the average person cannot pay because they're lucky if they earn that in a year. The average person earns between £9,000 and £10,000 a year. You find someone £10,000 for going to work and not wearing a mask, you have just taken a year's wage off that person. That's their rent, their livelihood, everything.
That is absolutely insane.
And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if what we saw happen in Washington happens in London at some point.
You think so?
Honestly, like, I've been sitting looking at it, and I've been wondering if London's getting close to its next Guy Fawkes problem.
Maybe.
Like, it's one of those things. It's like you look and you see what happened in Washington, like, and then you look at what's happening in England, and you have to wonder, because the English seem to be very much more proactive in the we don't like this lockdown, like as where Scotland seems to be very much more okay, we're going to do this because we have to. But the English seem to be very much, yeah, we don't like this, we're going to take to the streets, protest, we're like, and it wouldn't surprise me, it really wouldn't surprise me if we saw a Washington moment happen in London in the next year, if it keeps going this way at least.
Maybe.
And it's not, and it's the big thing, because Boris Johnson comes out to us, we might be pushing the elections back here because of what's going on, because we're now into lockdown till mid-May,
right,
or March, and it's like, well, if the elections are pushed back, then that's a lot of people that voices ain't going to be heard when they feel like they should have been heard, and it opens a whole can of worms. And I talk as somebody who doesn't vote, because I can't be asked voting, because I don't believe in any party.
Right.
So, I see what's going on, I don't trust any of them.
Yeah, we're living in strange times where you can't trust, like, the leadership, you can't trust the certain people, you know?
All you can do is just trust yourself, man.
That's it.
You know? You just got to look at the situation that's going on around you, decide what's best for you and your family in that moment, and just go with it. And at the moment, what I'm doing is working for me, what you're doing works for you, and what everybody else does is working for them to some extent. And I do feel sorry for the people out there that are struggling.
Right.
You know, because during a time like this, nobody should be homeless. As soon as this coronavirus thing became a problem, the first priority of governments all around the world should be, where do we put the homeless people? How do we feed them? How do we keep them safe? How do we make sure that they're not the 1% that pay for this? You know, because they're on the street with thousands of people walking by them every single day.
Right.
Yeah. It is sad to look at it when the concern is business, it's not the little...
Yeah, that blew my mind. I mean, first of all, I don't think that we should have come out of our lockdown, at least over here in the States. Like, we definitely should not have come out of our lockdown as early as we did. But, you know, again, the whole thing was, you know, hey, you got to get out there, you got to start spending money, you got to, you know, fix the economy.
Yeah. And that's when the governments of the world should have turned around to big business and said, if you want to stay afloat, we will give you a grant which will allow you to start an online service. Now, yes, this might kill the high streets. Amazon is killing it when it comes to profit. We will give you a government grant that will allow you to start your business online Get you out the high street, because let's be honest with you, the high streets are essentially dead now. You can't go for a haircut in Scotland. You can't cross the border into England. You can't do lots of things now. Everything's delivered. Will the high streets recover after this? Will you still go into town and walk through town and go into the same shops you went into once this is all done? And that's what you have to ask yourself, is the world is a very much changed place now.
Yeah. We're used to all that delivery. We're used to, like, living a different way.
Yeah, I live a very different way now. I order my food from Iceland. I get all my food shops delivered. If I want a new Blu-ray or I want to buy some coffee from a coffee machine, or I buy it online. Amazon delivers it the next day. There's no contact with anybody, nothing. The guy knocks on the door, walks away. He stands 6 feet away from me just to make sure the door is open, says my name, I put my thumb up, he goes, perfect, I pick up the package, he walks away. No contact whatsoever. And I'll be honest with you, this is the world now.
This is very true. This is very true.
And this vaccine seems to be a bit of a joke, because apparently somebody in the UK who got the vaccine 3 weeks ago just fell ill with the coronavirus this week.
No, that I've heard, and I've also heard people getting sick from taking this thing.
Well, the vaccine itself is made from, like, dead cells from the actual virus itself, so that's to be expected. Even the flu virus has a small strain of the flu in it.
Right.
You know, so that is to be expected. But, I mean, 3 weeks after you take a vaccine to then fall ill to the coronavirus is a bit suspect.
Yeah, I would say so.
And then I'm reminded of scenes back in, and I wonder if you remember this. Do you remember in China, it would have been January, maybe March, where you saw the vans driving down the road spraying stuff all over the streets and whatnot?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
Did you ever watch Chernobyl?
Yes.
Do you remember the scene in episode 4 where they're decontaminating Chernobyl and you have the trucks and the guys in the suits going along the streets spraying stuff all over the walls and like the sides of everything, like decontaminating everything?
Right.
That's what that reminded me of.
I found a game-breaking glitch in Miles Morales, apparently. I'm stuck inside this room. I can't get out.
Only, I swear to God, man, only you. But yeah, man, sorry about the serious talk there, but it's nice to sort of like speak about what's going on in the world. You know, like, we all speak about gaming, and it is our release and it is our escape from a lot of things that happen, but at the end of the day, the real world is still around us.
That's very true. Very true. And AFK said, how about paying $5.99 to get out? I think that's what Ubisoft's business model is. They want you to pay, you know, like, whatever money to get out of whatever.
Yeah. The vaccine was very much rushed, I think. I mean, they did that vaccine in, what, 9 months?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that was very rushed.
And the fact that it's already failed to some respect, that somebody who's taken the vaccine falls ill with coronavirus 3 weeks later, I mean, that's not good. That's not a good bloody sales pitch, really, is it?
Not just that, but like people are still getting sick. Like I was listening, and somebody said that several people have gotten Bell's palsy because of it. I think the state of Indiana in the United States, like they're refusing to even administer it anymore.
Yeah, see, here, I'll tell you one thing, though. With everything that's going on, you know, I treated myself to a couple of box sets this Christmas. I wonder if you've seen any of them. Myself, the Smallville Complete series. Remember the old Clark Kent one with his mum, Martha, and Jonathan all the way through his childhood?
Yeah.
I picked up that, and I wonder if you remember this one. I got the DVD collection of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
Well, they're rebooting that. They're making it
Yes,
again with.
I saw the trailer with that Tyler Laughlin.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw the trailer. I also picked up the Star Wars Skywalker saga on Blu-ray.
Did you?
I did. I didn't get it in 4K because it's just a waste of money at 200 quid. It's not even 200 quid, it's like 400 quid in the UK for it. But the Blu-ray set by itself is like £70.
Huh.
So I got myself a bunch of shit. I got the Dan Brown trilogy and everything.
That's pretty
There's
wild.
There's a lot of good films there, man. A lot of good films. And this is the one thing I think of. I look at some of these movies, especially Chernobyl, and the creators of Chernobyl apparently are the ones doing the Last of Us TV show.
Mm.
The same creators, writers, directors, apparently are the ones working on that. And I wonder if the Last of Us TV show will do better than the game.
What do you think of all these TV shows and stuff that they're basing all these like that they're making like that are coming out? Because there's supposed to be The Last of Us. There's supposed to be Resident Evil.
There's Assassin. Well, Resident Evil's a movie. There is a TV show as well, apparently coming to Netflix.
Hmm.
Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons. Inferno is a good film. Not the best story. Angels and Demons and Da Vinci Code, especially the director's cut of those movies, are fantastic. I am interested to see what Assassin's Creed will be when it comes out, because it's meant to be like a mix of live action, anime, comic book style stuff. I just wish they'd stick to a story and go for it. Like, let's just go live action with that shit.
That's what they should do.
Let's not do Ezio, let's not do Altair, but let's do an assassin in between. Who was the assassin in between Altair and Ezio? Who was the one that bridged the gap?
I don't know. Oh, it's supposed to take place in what do you call it? Netflix is doing it. It's a Netflix thing that they're doing that show.
Well, I know the new movie's meant to take inspiration from the games. It's not allowed to copy the games like one-to-one because they're not allowed to. It's a part of the contract, but it'll be interesting to see.
I'd love to see it, honestly.
It might be Bassin's plan. We don't know. All we know at the moment is Netflix and Ubisoft are creating Assassin's Creed shows, live action, animation. That's about all we know at the moment.
I'd like to see what they come out with. I really would. I'm hoping that they do good with it. That it's not, like some garbage series or anything like that.
Yeah. What would be nice is if they were going to do something with Assassin's Creed was maybe don't make the movies independent of the games, but have a game that has a cool ending and then launch a movie that has a really cool ending, which launches into another game. So instead of having to rush your games all the time, you could have Hollywood deal with one part of the story while your gaming side of development deals with the other side of the story and gives you the whole thing, that the memory blocks, the side missions, all those stuff, and then a movie comes out just after that and sort of bridges the gap to the next Assassin.
That would make a lot of sense. That would be kind of cool.
That would be cool. Not only would that give the developers a lot more time with their game, that would give the screenwriters, whoever's doing the movie, extra time as well with the movies, because they would only have to release a movie once every 3 years. Game developers would only have to launch once every 3 years, and then in the middle you do something cool, like you launch a line of comics or you launch a line of anime, like short stories, something to bridge that gap. But if you could have the game world working with the movie world at the same time, I think that might work. Because you have the excitement of a new movie every couple of years, you have the excitement of a new game every couple of years, and then you have the excitement of maybe 6 or 7 little anime stories of the side characters that you're going to be moving into with the new game after the movie comes out. So you like little backstory animes.
That would actually be kind of cool.
That might work. That might be the way Assassin's Creed bridges the gap. But what Assassin's Creed needs to do is get its shit in order, figure out what its lore is, get somebody in charge of it who is going to be, you know, the guy in charge of Marvel. You know what I mean? Like the guy that sees everything is synced. I forget his name. But they need like a lore expert, somebody that's going to make sure that everything flows the way it should.
Right.
That everything's consistent, everything works, nothing's out of place. It doesn't matter if it's going from anime, movie, game. The continuity of the actual story stays in place. It makes sense. It doesn't deviate. Doesn't break lore. So you get to the game and you go, well, scratch. That doesn't make sense because the anime and the film told me this.
Yeah, that would absolutely make sense if they did something like that. Like that's what they need.
Assassin's Creed needs, and this is the name, Assassin's Creed needs its Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Somebody who is going to be in complete control of the story. And make sure that it doesn't matter what the game, what the movie, what the comic book, what the cartoon, what any of it is. That story is consistent across all media platforms, regardless of where it's released. The story is consistent to the timeline.
Yeah, that's definitely what we need. We need like one working story, one working arc, and you know, like they keep it 100%. They do what they got to do there.
Yeah. And you know, I have to bring this up because AFK brings up Jon Favreau. Did you see Mandalorian Chapter 16?
Yes.
Oh my fucking days.
Yep.
Did I have a wet dream?
Absolutely. I lost my shit when I saw that. I was like, wow.
That was the coolest thing I have seen in Star Wars since fucking Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
Like, that shit was cool, man. And that deep fake was smart, man. Like, that was really well done.
It really was. And then the other thing, though, is that they're talking about rewriting the last 3 movies. They're talking about, like, redoing them.
Redoing them, yeah, man. Like, Mandalorian apparently is the start of completely, like, reimagining them or some shit. Like, they've got a whole bunch of shows that are going to come off the Mandalorian, and there's talks of Luke Skywalker now having his own show because of all of this, and, like, yeah, I saw that episode, and I tell you, man, that was, yeah, I was so happy after that.
So was I. I was excited. I was like, oh my god.
It was a pure redemption moment.
As soon as Gina Carrera says, oh great, we're safe, there's one X-Wing. Yeah, I was like, wait. I was like, I know what this is.
It was better than 7, 8, and 9.
Yep.
It was done in under 3.5 minutes.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And even the deep fake was just, that's what you needed to see. Like,
It was awesome. It was completely awesome. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. We needed more of that.
But yeah, when you see Mark Hamill, it had to be the redemption for that character. At least that's how I saw it. That's why Mark Hamill was there as the deep fake and not Sebastian Stan. It was that redemption.
And the funny thing too was, like, I follow Mark Hamill on Instagram and stuff like that. Afterwards he says, did you see anything good on TV lately?
Yeah, mate,
I was dying.
He did, mate, apparently he filmed that while filming of The Last Jedi finished. Or, sorry, Rise of Skywalker finished. So when that was filmed about a year, just over a year and a half ago, or round about then. So he would have only have just been finishing, like, Rise of Skywalker when he filmed that. Mm-hmm. They kept that shit a secret for over a year.
They did. They kept Baby Yoda a secret for over a year.
Yeah, and nobody talked about it, man. Like, Disney pretty much knows how to keep a secret.
They do. They do. You got to give them that.
Origins is much better than Valhalla. I could have told you that within the first 30 seconds of playing Origins, mate.
Yeah, Valhalla really. I don't know what's going on with Valhalla. They need to fix the living crap out of that game.
Yep. The best way to put it is, you load up Valhalla, and you watch the intro, and you watch that whole bit where it goes into the cabin and all that, and then you watch the first couple of minutes of Origins, and Bayek rams that fucking blade through that mask into that fucking guy's face.
Mm-hmm.
That instantly that sets the tone for a game. You know who your character is in Bayek. You know he's out there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like, because of that moment, you instantly connect with Bayek. Even if you don't know why, you understand he has anger, he's upset. And then it's explained through his son.
Yep.
And then you get it. And then you get it. You understand why he, he takes that and he's like, we will find you.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, right into the pus, man. Like, you get it. And Valhalla doesn't have that. With Valhalla, you have a weird woman going, hoo-yo. You go to a cabin and you wake up in the middle of a snowy place with some cunt beating the shit out of you at the side of a boat.
Yep.
Like, okay, who am I? Like, my dad died, fair enough. I get that. Like, I was attacked by a wolf and the animus decided to go crazy, so what's up with that? But you have no connection with that character straight away, and I think it's because maybe they started you as a child. Because that child sounds nothing like the adult. Like, it's almost as if that child is a different child to Eivor.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to call that out. And the voice actor for the father, I think was the same, or at least sounded the same voice actor as the male Eivor.
You think so?
Just with a different tone, I think. At least that's how it came across when I loaded up. Because I played as how the Animus chooses, and like, there's no choice. It's like, you're female Eivor, whether you like it or not, and the male Eivor is His Highness.
Right.
You know, and I think, we were all gullible for thinking it was going to be something else when they turned around and said it mattered on your synchronization. Well, there's no synchronization in the game.
None at all. There's no memory block like with Ezio and Brotherhood. Like Ezio completed this mission, but he did kill 4 people by Hidden Blade, and he killed 5 people like this. Yeah.
That's a full synchronization, in my opinion. A full synchronization in Valhalla is just don't get seen.
Exactly.
And if you get seen, it doesn't matter. Just pull out your sword and kill all of them. Because you're not losing points, you're not losing skill points. If anything, you pull your sword out in Valhalla and massacre a village, you get more score.
Exactly. That shit was just crazy. I don't know. It's weird as hell.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with Assassin's Creed over the next couple of months. I will try finish it, and I'm hoping, my hope is when DLC 1 drops, because it is very soon, that it's also going to drop with a mighty large patch.
Yeah, we definitely need this to be fixed. It needs to be repaired, because a lot of people are not playing it. A lot of people are not happy with it. It's kind of crazy.
See, and the thing is this could have been a blockbuster game if they had taken Odyssey's engine with all the just everything, the crafting system, the mastery system, all of that. See if that had been in this game from day one. Then people would have gone, right, okay, there's glitches, there's bugs. The game is just as good as Odyssey, but it's just as good as Odyssey at birth than what Odyssey was 2 months later.
Right.
Let's see where this game goes over the next 3 to 4 months. Because Ubisoft at this point should have mastered the open RPG. Because
Totally.
Odyssey was damn near mastery. So why wasn't this game mastery?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what people have to ask.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying. Like, why are we crucifying CD Projekt Red and not Ubisoft for this stuff?
Yeah, because Ubisoft went backwards. They didn't just go backwards by 2 years, they went backwards by 3 years. Because they went backwards as far as 1 year into the release of Origins. And that's what they thought was good. Odyssey came out here, improved. Probably one of the best updated games ever in Ubisoft history, to be quite blunt.
Totally.
And this game came out and it's like, yeah, we're going to take you all the way back to the beginning. We're going to actually make it so your skill points don't mean fuck all. So thanks for that. And I hope you enjoy the game, which you're going to find boring very quickly because it's the same shit. And by the way, I hope you like Cairn Storms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I hope you enjoy them because I didn't.
No,
I found them boring and tedious.
And that's why absolutely hilarious. Is bitching about the Cairn Storms. That's that whole.
You went a bit weird there, man.
What's that?
That was you this time.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, you lagged out on my side. Either that or my headset's that buggered, then it's what it is.
Right. No,
But
that whole video, it was all about the Cairn Stones. It's just me bitching. I completed them all. I platinumed the game on the PlayStation, and you know, like it was a lot of fun. It was a lot that I had to do. One of the worst things ever was figuring out that one section I could not move that movable object, like it was stuck. And somebody had said, "Hey, here's something funny that you do. Take a corpse and throw it at the movable object. It'll start moving." So I gave that a shot. I actually killed somebody and I threw them against the thing, and it was actually moving it. And it got to the point where it moved enough where the guy just walked out, and I completed the thing. I was blown away. I was like, this is amazing stuff here, you know?
That's mad, man. But I have to admit, the Cairn Storm, they really are like the most boring part of an Assassin's Creed game.
They are. I've never seen anything like that. They're more annoying than those shanties. They're more annoying than everything like that. It was
some of the shanties, it's the same old Assassin's Creed running technique across trees and stuff, where you seem to always want to jump in entirely the wrong direction, then you're pointing your thumbstick.
Right.
And it's like, why are you doing that? Like, I swear the game does it deliberately. It's like, oh, he's too close to that. He's getting there too quickly. This time he's got a 5% chance. So let's throw him off and treat to the left.
Well, those things, the tattoos. Somebody had actually given me a way using. And you're actually able to get all this, like, very easily. Like, everything freezes.
No, you there?
Yep, I'm here. But yeah, it's like
laggy again.
Oh,
it's you having problems now, man.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, it's an ability that you get, like the first and the second part of, and you're able to, like, literally slow time down, and you're able to, like, catch those things.
Well, I'll get like I says, I'll get round to trying it again. I think the problem I might have now is, for myself, it's been that long since I actually played it as well. A lot of the story itself I've forgotten already,
right?
Because I never just went through it and finished it. Like with Odyssey, I played through once. I was like, right, okay, did I really play that? So you play it again, because the first time I played through Odyssey, I got the bad ending. So the second time I played through Odyssey, I made sure I did it right. I did strategy guides to make sure Alexios lived and stuff like that.
Right.
With this one, it's like there's no consequence. At least it feels like there's no consequence. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, you don't have that other character to kind of bounce off of, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And Yeah, like I think maybe I need to start. I think for myself, if I was going to get enjoyment out of it now, especially if they do decide to fix it, I think for me, I would have to have a fresh save. I would have to start from the beginning, but I wouldn't have to bother myself with all the shit on the map. I would have to just play through the story.
Yeah, right now things are kind of working. I haven't seen any major issues or anything like that since. I think since like the last patch, but you know, some people are still having some problems. Some people are still complaining, hey, listen, you know, like I still can't do this and whatnot. So I don't know. You have to play through. You have to see what you've got.
Well, that's it. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. But yeah, man, I think for me, if I'm going to get enjoyment out of the game now, I have to have a couple of days now, kick my feet up and just go, do you know what? Invest myself, but only in the story.
Right.
And only in the glitches. Do only the glitches and only the story. Don't worry about anything else. And I'll tell you now, I will be completely, the next time, if I even do play through it properly, I will be skipping the entire Asgard section of the game.
Really? Why is that?
The first part was so fucking boring, man. The second part had a couple of really cool moments, like the mirror moment, without giving a spoiler away. Like that little mirror moment where you walk away and then you hear, oh, the stories we have to tell.
Right.
You know, like there's a couple of moments in part 2 that are really like, fuck yeah, that was needed. But other than that, like, I don't understand why that arc's even in the game. But then that could be because I've not finished the game.
No, yeah, it might be. It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this is a good spot to end it. I got a couple of things I got to get going on in real life and stuff like that. But I want to thank everybody who was here watching. We were going to have Silent Games on, or Smart Glitch Gaming. It's kind of late over there where he's at, so you know, he wasn't able to join. Yeah, exactly. I would love to have him on.
Like,
He's
like I keep saying, it's going to be a better conversation with a third.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Anyway, everyone, again, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you again next week.